ShopGearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Gear Network presents the Football Talk Weekly Podcast with John Cimino and Brandon Gorell. And now, here's John.
Week 15 is upon us, as is a Rochester late fall, almost winter.
It's winter. It's December.
It's December. How's it going, everybody? John Cimino here at the JC Money. And as always, joined by my fellow semi-under-the-weather eyesore here, Mr. Brandon Gorell.
Oh, hi. Feeling nasally today. Stick with it.
Yes.
It only gets worse.
Well, we'll see. You know, you never know. You never know.
I'm going to rally. I'm going to try to rally.
You never know. All right, but hey, one more week and some change left until Christmas, the big day, and you can always get your Amazon shopping done through shopgear.com. You can help us out. You can help you out. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if they have any Nintendo Minis like Brandon's looking for,
Nope.
but, you know, you can try, and you can find lots of other things on there if you need, and have it delivered right to your front door. We can hook you up with a free 30-day trial of Prime over at shopgear.com or gearnetwork.com/Amazon.
Yeah, use it to get the free 2-day shipping for a month.
Use it.
Because that thing's clutch.
It's dope.
I mean, even if you're in it comes through Postal Service, they do Sunday deliveries through Amazon on Postal Service, so you could get it in 2 days if you order on a Friday and still get it on a Sunday.
Right?
So you got time.
For real.
Use it.
All right. Now, you know what? Speaking of things being used, Brandon, I'm telling you right now, they're listening, man. They're listening in. He gone.
Yeah.
He gone. Jeff Fisher fired by the Los Angeles Rams after losing his last game, which incidentally tied him for the most losses by a coach in NFL history. Tied him with Ernisse.
Yeah, apparently Cranky's naked pictures weren't that embarrassing. He probably just looked at him and said, you know what? Whatever, leak them, I don't care. Because you got to go. You're the worst coach in the NFL. I saw that thing on the internet today from Bleacher Report. Had a picture of Fisher on one side and Belichick on the other, and says he had to go 0-16 the next 6 seasons.
Yes.
Still have a better win percentage than Fisher.
Yep.
That's sick.
That's pretty terrible. In 5 seasons with St. Louis and LA, he was 31-45-1. He has a 173, 165, and 1 overall record.
Somehow they beat the Seahawks 3 times in a row. A
Super Bowl appearance, famously 1 yard short of being
Rest in peace, McNair.
Former Super Bowl winning head coach. Brandon, is he done in the league?
I don't know. There's a lot of stupid people out there. So I can't say that he is done, because I thought he'd be done before he got the Rams job, but apparently he wasn't. Now that he got the Rams job lost, I don't know. I really am disappointed, though, that the Rams cut him while he was tied for the most losses. Right. They should have let him get that thing, seal that loss on Thursday night. I mean, you got to deal them for another 4 days on the complex?
Yep.
Deal them for 4 more days. Let him get that L in there. Let him be the all-time loser. Have the team hit him with the Gatorade bath, carry him out on his shoulders right to the unemployment line, and then leave him from the bus in Seattle.
Wonderful.
Make him catch his own ride. He's got enough money. He's duped enough NFL
Isn't that what the
owners
Raiders
to
did
get
to
jobs.
Lane Kiffin?
Yeah. They did.
Poor Lane
They
Kiffin.
sure did.
Oh.
But Jeff Fisher, I mean, the guy's got money and he keeps getting contracts, so some team will put him as a coordinator first. He'll get a coordinator job. He'll do pretty well there, and someone will go, Jeff Fisher's doing a really good job on his defense over in X-Land. We've got a head coaching vacancy. Maybe we'll give him a shot. And they totally, short-term memory loss.
Buffalo.
Buffalo's not going to hire him.
Buffalo.
I said that to my buddy.
Buffalo fans are already freaking, a lot of them, not all of them. I will give you the devil may do there, but not all of them. But Buffalo fans would be like, well, I bet you Fisher could turn it around here in Buffalo.
Oh my God, those are the stupidest people ever.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb.
My buddy Josh does not want him, and he had a great response to when I said, come on, Buffalo's not that stupid. They're not going to hire him. He goes, hi there, Buffalo Bills here. Did you say that we couldn't do something that stupid? Watch this. He's like, that's the history of our team is doing something stupid.
Yes.
He's like, so don't put it past us because it's stupid. He's like, I'm hoping that they'll use better judgment and go, okay, you know what? Rex was less of a dumpster fire. Unless we want to burn the city to the ground, don't bring Jeff Fisher in because the guy's the worst.
Yeah, he's pretty terrible. He's pretty terrible. Some Titans fans are looking on him fondly, I should say, not finally, fondly, because of course, his 4 or 5 winning seasons that he had there. But all right, speaking of coaches on the move, possibly, we are a mere 3 weeks and some change away from Black Monday in the NFL. And already what's happening now are the coaches' hot seat. Now they talk about, they could be on the hot seat, they could be on the hot seat. Well, now we are in so late in the season where they actually have grades for these coaches.
I saw that today, and that's so stupid.
So, QCBSSports.com.
I gotta get a job somewhere doing that.
Right? That would be amazing.
You get paid to do that.
Get paid to make stuff.
You know what? Let me just pull this out of the air.
Piping hot. The seats whose are piping hot are Gus Bradley and Rex Ryan.
Yeah. See, that's different than ESPN did the same thing today.
Oh, did they?
It's just a copycat, everything. The whole world's a copycat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had Rex Ryan on the hot seat. They had Gus Bradley on the hot seat. And Marvin Lewis, I think, on the hot seat.
Marvin Lewis is in the per CBS is in the danger zone, along with Todd Bowles.
Danger zone.
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles, Chuck Pagano, and Mike McCoy. They are in the danger zone.
Pagano needs to go.
So I will ask you this: of these 6 names that I have here, Brandon, who is the likeliest to be without a job?
Likeliest?
Likeliest.
Oh, that's hard to say. I think Gus Bradley is probably the most likely because of that record. Mm-hmm. And they have some talent over there, and they're severely underperforming. That team's quit. Completely quit. I'd say it's second probably is Rex Ryan if they don't make the playoffs and they finish under 500.
You know, that the Rex Ryan thing intrigues me. Not as a former, that he's my former coach, but it's a really weird situation. Like, I mean, personally, I don't think Rex is that terrible of a coach. He does
bring in his brother.
He does a lot of dumb things.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove, I don't think he's a terrible coach.
No, he's not.
I think he puts himself into stupid circumstances,
right.
and then on the flip side of that, there are some circumstances that he can't control.
He's too loyal.
For example, he's too loyal. Those 2 years with John Idzik, he couldn't control that. That was Idzik.
Right.
You know what I mean? He couldn't control that at all. Now, they're talking about the big story, I think last week, was broken last weekend, was that Rex Ryan could be fired as early as Monday.
Yeah, whatever.
And there was multiple sources that were reporting that, and I said to you that I thought that there had to be some hint of truth to that.
I don't think there was any hint of truth to it just because Jason LaConfora grabbed it, but he grabbed it from a Buffalo source, and that Buffalo source was probably like buffalodildothrowers.org.tv, whatever. Buffalo's got a lot of newspapers with a lot of guys who think that they have connections in the organization. They really don't. I mean, remember when Mike Shanahan was on the jet and he was in there to sign a contract, and who did they get?
When Mike...
Doug Marrone.
Oh, yes. And
everyone was like, Doug Marrone? Doug Marrone got the coaching job over Mike Shanahan? There's always rumors, and someone always sees a jet, or someone always sees a person that they think looks like somebody, and then it gets out, and then other, major media sources, because they don't want to be, last to break it, they want to be first to break it, because they get bonuses for it. But I doubt they get any docking in their paychecks for bad information, but I thought there was no way, even if they lost like 41-2 to the Steelers, that they were going to fire him on Monday. It just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
It was a terrible story.
So, listening to Bill's radio all week, mainly the John Murphy show, who's the announcer for the Bills. The talk backstage seems to be that there is an issue between Doug Whaley and Rex Ryan, a lack of communication.
Yeah.
Rex Ryan reports directly to Terry and Kim Pagula.
Right.
Doug Whaley reports directly to Terry and Kim Pagula. They don't talk to each other for some reason or another, and I think it might have been the Pagulas that set that in motion.
Yeah,
and
it's Kim. Kim's running the show.
That's I think the issue is that they have the general manager and the head coach not really speaking to one another and just reporting to the owner, and it's kind of like a big telephone game.
Yeah,
and next thing you know, you have the place that I really work at 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Where it's a big telephone game and people get pissed and things happen. So I think that's the problem with it. But I stand firm, and I say this to everybody that's all the Jets fans that are on the Fire Bowls bandwagon. Head coaches need at least 3 years.
Yeah, I think 3 years has got to be the minimum.
If this were Rex Ryan's third year and we were looking at this, I would say yes, his seat is probably very hot right now.
Yeah.
I don't think what's helping him is the fact that this defense went from being a number one ranked defense all the way down. It started plummeting, and then he brought his brother in, and like that. I don't think that's helping his case. But
they were much better last year. They lead the league in sacks this year, but the secondary is kind of fallen off.
Continuity. It's the same teams, Brandon. Yeah. You look at it. It's the same teams. The past 10 years, 15 years. The same teams are the ones always finding new coaches.
Yeah,
it's the Steelers, the Patriots, the Packers. For a while, the Eagles.
Right.
Now
it's the Chiefs.
They're not. Now it's the Chiefs, but they're not finding new head coaches. They're not. No. They're not finding new coaches because they've given their people a fair share.
Right.
Like I said a few weeks ago when we were talking about Belichick and Brady. Before Brady came on the field, they were talking about firing Belichick.
Right.
And look what happened.
Right.
It's giving your coaches a chance. So I don't think Rex Ryan should be, but then again,
I don't think they should either. But here's the thing. I have a problem with the Pagulas. Yes, they saved your team's Buffalo. I'm sure you're grateful for it. But this team, these guys are flashy. They spend money. And that makes people excited. But the thing is they're not spending their money in the right places. They're not hiring the right people. They don't have the right hockey people in place in Buffalo.
Right.
They say they do, but
they've been very high.
Where are they?
They've been very high on Russ Brandon since he's gone over to the Sabres side of things. But he's more of a marketing guy.
But he's marketing. You got Tim Murray is their GM in Buffalo. They brought in Dan Bylsma. They got Jack Eichel last year. They have a host of number one picks before that, Ristolainen.
And they're hovering at or around 500, I think.
They're near last place.
Jesus.
They're near last place, and they've been in last place, the year before, near last place the year before that. So they're getting all these number one draft picks, but they're not doing anything with it. The teams are not improving, but they spent money. They spent money on the facilities. They spent money on some players, some free agents. And then they buy the Bills. Then they go in, they get the high-name coach, the high-profile coach. They bring in some high-profile free agents, make a big splash in the trade market, getting Shady McCoy, get a new fancy quarterback, get a tight end for a lot of money, sign some defensive guys.
Right.
And then what has it amounted to?
It's
nothing. They had a better record at 9-7. With Kyle Orton playing quarterback.
And Doug Marrone
as their head coach. The guy who everyone's like, oh, Doug Marrone. What an uninspired hire. Sometimes you don't want an inspiring hire. Sometimes you don't want a name. Because those names are unemployed for a reason.
Right, exactly.
You don't need another Jeff Fisher.
No, we don't.
You don't need Mike Shanahan. You need somebody who is not a rehash. You need somebody who's hungry, who wants to earn a job. Somebody that got hosed in their previous job. Look at Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio got hosed in his previous job.
And now he's one of the candidates for Coach of the Year.
Yeah. And people are like, who's this Jack Del Rio? Where'd he come from? Yeah, he was the same terrible coach in Jacksonville that nobody thought was any good.
Right.
You know, it's about getting somebody who's hungry, who has something to prove, who wants to be there. Rex Ryan said he wanted to be there. Rex Ryan wanted another job.
Yes, he did.
Rex Ryan wanted to get in front of a camera. Rex Ryan just could not stand not being in the headlines again.
He wanted to be in the AFC East.
Right. He wanted to stick it to his old team.
He wanted to stick it to the Jets, and he wanted to try and compete with Bill Belichick again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he could have had the Atlanta Falcons job.
Right.
And he, then he would have been the Dirty Birds problem. But,
yeah. But, I mean, you look at the coaches that are coaches and have stayed in place right now. Bill Belichick was a coordinator. Tomlin was a coordinator. Came in. Mike McCarthy was a quarterback's coach and coordinator for the 49ers. Andy Reid was a coordinator under Mike Holmgren. Jack Del Rio was a defensive coordinator. The good coaches are usually coordinators. The good coaches who are winning Super Bowls are not guys who have lost somewhere else as head coaches. Those guys are not the guys that they hire. The rare exception right now is Pete Carroll.
Right.
But Pete Carroll went back to college and got humbled.
Right.
And then came back to the NFL knowing, hey, this is a hard job. This is something you got to dedicate to
much less to
24/7.
Much less to a Seattle Seahawks team who at that time were not very good.
No.
So, weird thing is he's been there almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I remember when he left USC.
Yeah. So Buffalo, you got a lot of problems. And
for his dream job.
Your coaching staff is one of it, but I think the power structure where the GM and the coach are not on the same page and they're both reporting directly to one person.
Right.
What is that helping?
Okay. Let's jump to your team, the Green Bay Packers. Brandon.
They're back.
Are they back?
Oh, they're back.
Ty Montgomery officially converted to a running back. The Packers defeated the Seahawks. And here's an interesting note for you. The Super Bowl odds for Green Bay jumped from 30-1 to 18-1. I mean, they got to win out, pretty much.
They can, too.
I think it's doable
games.
for them.
They got Chicago, home for Minnesota, and then finish at Detroit.
I hope they slap around Minnesota.
Detroit, you better win Sunday.
Yeah.
Because otherwise your season's going to be over in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because Green Bay is going to come in there and they're going to steamroll you. I'm calling my shot.
All right. Oakland. The city of Oakland approves a stadium deal to try to keep the Raiders. It is on paper a $1.3 billion deal, which is headed by Ronnie Lott.
Yep.
And his private investor
and
group.
His nub finger.
It involves roughly $350 million in public money. Good move, Brandon?
Yeah, I think so.
The NFL wants to keep the Raiders in Oakland.
Yeah. I didn't read all the details of it, but is this also going to include the Oakland A's?
Is it
going to be a shared stadium, or is it going to be on its own?
I didn't see that in there. It would be on its own.
Okay. Because I know the Oakland A's need a stadium, too, and I don't think that they're going to get two stadiums.
No, it's very likely that the Oakland A's are probably headed to San Jose.
Ugh. Not if the Giants can help it.
From what I understand, San Jose appears to be the destination site.
Yeah, and the Giants have been trying to block it for years.
The Giants have that market, but money talks. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
They don't have a lot of money with Oakland.
If Mother MLB wants it there, it's going to get there no matter what, whether or not the Giants like it.
Nope.
So, all right. Picture this, Brandon. On Sunday morning, you wake up out of your bed.
This Sunday or next Sunday?
Last Sunday.
Last Sunday.
Sunday, you woke up. You woke up out of your bed.
So this already happened.
This has already happened. But just imagine.
I'm going to picture what
imagine.
I imagine. Okay, imagining.
All right. You wake up. You wake up out of your bed, right? You get ready. You got a good job. Good job is to play football.
Yeah.
National Football League. I sound like Herman Edwards right now. I miss Herman Edwards. Job is to play football in the National Football League. And you go out and you play it. You play your game.
Yeah. You play to win that game.
But you lose. But it's okay. You know what? You have a good job. You play a kid's game and you get paid for it. Then the nighttime comes. You're a little tired. You fall asleep. Just happens to be behind the wheel of your car.
Huh.
You wake up and you're charged with 2 counts of DUI. Who are you?
I'm going to definitely say I'm not Marty McFly.
You're not Marty McFly.
I'm Michael Floyd.
You are now former Arizona Cardinal Michael Floyd.
Yeah.
He was cut by Arizona on this day, Wednesday, which we're recording. Former first-round draft pick of the Cardinals out of Notre Dame. 242 receptions, 3,739 yards, 23 touchdowns. He's not a bad receiver, Brandon. So
but he's not
chance.
First round. He
No.
didn't live up to first round expectations, and I think that's why he got cut.
He
was going to get cut either way. This was kind of the final straw.
Right. So this is a league of second chances. Look at Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
Where do you think Michael Floyd could possibly wind up next?
New England.
See, I was thinking New England as well because they have a tendency to do things like that,
Yep.
or keep them in shape. But I was thinking more Dallas.
I don't see a spot for him in Dallas.
You don't think so?
No, he doesn't have a spot.
They can get rid of Cole Beasley.
They're not going to get rid of Cole Beasley.
Probably not. But
That
they
guy
could.
is Mr. Automatic on third down.
He is.
He's hard to cover. They're not getting rid of Cole Beasley. They're not going to get rid of Terrence Williams. And they're not getting rid of Des Bryant. There's nowhere for Michael Floyd to go. Michael Floyd will go to New England, I think, because New England's got Edelman. Amendola's pretty much out for the year.
Yeah, Amendola's out. Amendola's
They're
out
using
for the year.
What's his name? Oh God, he was a special teamer, and now he's their second their second wide receiver.
I don't remember his name.
It's like Willie Mitchell. They
Okay.
got him, and
Remember Freddie Mitchell?
yeah, Fred X.
Fred X.
Yeah, I'll hate that guy forever. Too. 4th and 19.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think he'll probably... I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in New England. New England could use him. He better get his head in the game because Belichick won't he'll have a very short leash. Mm-hmm. Belichick will have cut people for worse. So, he's got to get together. But I think he'll end up in New England.
Belichick is the guy who traded Randy Moss literally a year after Moss's record-setting season. So, all right, well, we'll just go right into... Okay, power rankings time. By God, the power of editing.
Yes.
Inside joke here for us because this is now the third take for it. All right, NFL power rankings up one spot to the number 10, cracking the top 10, Brandon, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Falling 4 spots to number 9, the Denver Broncos. The Giants remaining the same at number 8. The Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty Birds, off their big win from the Fisher-less now Los Angeles Rams to number 7. Seattle Seahawks remain at number 6. The Oakland Raiders fall down 2 spots to the number 5.
Yeah, they got pummeled by Kansas City.
Pretty much, yes. The Detroit Lions up 3 spots, Brandon, to number 4. Up 1 spot to number 3 is the Kansas City Chiefs. And once again, we have a flip-flop, changing of the guards. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys. And number 1, the New England Patriots. And speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, and while I go ahead and bring up the scores here, let's just kind of touch up on that really quickly because I almost want to say, Brandon, you called it. You had been calling it for weeks now.
Yeah.
Where it seems like the rookie wall is going to hit, and I said I feel that the rookie wall is probably going to happen. If it doesn't happen, if it happens in the season, it's going to happen against either the Redskins or the Giants.
Yep.
It happened against the Giants.
Yeah. You've been seeing it in slow motion the last couple of weeks because Prescott has not produced the way he normally is accustomed to producing earlier in the year. He had a not-so-great game against Minnesota. They got kind of saved there against Minnesota. And then they played against the Giants, and they did not look good. They got...
Cowboys fans already calling for Dak to be benched. Are you kidding me?
That's fine. Honestly, I still think Romo's a better quarterback.
Probably.
But he's gonna have to really step up these last few games. Otherwise, it will be Tony Romo time
During the playoffs, yeah.
Zeke is still running, but he's taking a lot more carries to get to 100 yards than he used to. And if it weren't for a big run last week and then a big run the week before, he probably would have been under 100 yards, but he's had 20-plus carries. He's putting up a lot of carries. It's going to wear on him. He thinks he can keep going, but, Physical abuse, it takes its toll.
Especially for young, fresh legs early on in their careers. That we're not used to the rigors of it.
Start playing those cold weather games and, it'll
get you every time.
Of course, they're probably not going to have to play many cold weather games because they'll probably be the 1 seed.
Yeah, but then, if history goes according to plan, they're going to lose. They're going to lose in the first round. So, all right. Week 14 scores.
It would be terrible if they had to face the Giants in that first playoff game. Lose to them again.
Don't sleep on them Giants,
It'll be Dallas.
The Kansas City Chiefs. I just pictured it in my head there. Thank you. Chiefs 21, Raiders 13. The Steelers 27-20 winners over the Buffalo Bills. That decreases the Buffalo Bills' playoff chances to. They have a 99% chance of missing the playoffs. The Bills do.
I'm sorry, but Rex can't tackle.
No, he cannot.
That is terrible.
The Detroit Lions winners over the Chicago Bears barely, 20-17. The Cincinnati Bengals keeping the dream alive. Brandon, 23-10 winners over the Cleveland Browns. Tennessee Titans 13-10 winners over the Broncos. I'd call it an upset. The Texans, 22-17 winners over the Colts. The Dolphins. Yes, the Dolphins. 8-5 in the season, Brandon. 26-23.
They're not going anywhere.
Winners over the Cardinals.
Not with Matt Moore at quarterback.
Matt Moore is your quarterback. We may or may not be talking to Tommy from DolphinsTalk.com on the podcast. I forgot to mention that. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, the Vikings, 25-16 winners over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Redskins, 27-22 winners over the Eagles. Carolina improves to 5-8, 28-16 over the Chargers. The Jets. Damn it, Brandon, the Jets. They can't even lose, right? They win. They beat the 49ers. Who
overtime, dude.
The 49ers improved to 1-12.
Yeah.
23-17 in overtime. Bryce Petty's first win in his career as a starter. The Dirty Birds 42-14 winners over the Rams. The Green Bay Packers trounce Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, 5 picks.
38-10. Made Russell Wilson look like
6 turnovers in total.
Made Russell Wilson look like Ryan Fitzpatrick, honestly.
Yeah, and you see Sherm. Sherm was edgy.
Yeah.
Took a shot at Adams. Adams didn't like it, came back at him, and then he took a cheap shot at Randall Cobb at the end of the game, too.
No.
Yeah, they did the kneel down. He did the kneel down, and he comes flying up from the secondary and just blasts Randall Cobb. Just hit him. He's a little douche.
All right, Famous Jameis,
Mouth as big as his
8-5. They're flexed this Sunday, Brandon. Famous Jameis and the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But last Sunday they beat the Saints 16-11. The Dallas Cowboys fall to 11-2.
They're gonna be 11-3 this week. I believe in Jameis.
10-7 to the New York Football Giants, and in a game that was a runaway until it wasn't.
Until 2 fumbles in a row by special teams.
The New England Patriots winners over the Baltimore Ravens and Elite Joe Flacco, 30-23. All right, that's going to take us to halftime. We will be back with more Football Talk Weekly right after this.
Hey, Gear Network listeners. We all know how busy it gets around this time of year. Taking care of your holiday shopping can get stressful. Using Amazon is a quick and easy way to get your holiday shopping done. You can go to gearnetwork.com/Amazon and click on the link to check out all the latest lightning deals that Amazon has to offer, as well as some of my top picks on gifts for everyone on your list. Anything you purchase from Amazon using the gearnetwork.com/Amazon link helps directly support our show, as well as the others offered on Gear Network, keeping us free and independent. Make it easy on yourself this holiday season and get the best deals at gearnetwork.com/Amazon.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. Gabriel Soul.
And I'm Pat G.
The G stands for gangster. And you are listening to the Turnbuckle Talk Radio Podcast, baby.
Every week live and exclusively on the Gear Network,
where we talk about indie wrestling, national wrestling, WWE, TNA, ROH, every single independent wrestling scene that we get information on, plus our opinions on such.
Find it only on the Gear Network app, iTunes, and more.
You always got to go to GearNetwork.com to tune in and listen to my voice every single week, because I know you love it. And the reason why is because you get eargasms, baby.
And if you want those eargasms, tune in every week. Otherwise, we only have one word for you.
Cyclone!
All right, everybody, we are back here on the Football Talk Weekly Podcast here on the Gear Radio Network. How's it going? It's just me, John, flying solo right now for this special interview here that I have with a good buddy of mine from bowling. Yes, we bowl together. And he currently is one of the hosts of the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, which you can hear on DolphinsTalk.com, and you can as well hear it on iTunes. Just go DolphinsTalk.com. It's right there. Don't get thrown off by the name of the Randy Savage guy. It's not the Macho Man. No, it's not. Yeah. But that's his other guy here. But Tom Ernisse, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing, man?
I am good. First of all, yeah, so Randy Savage, let's talk about your co-host real quick, because when I listen to the podcast, it says his name is Randy Savage, and the thing I'm thinking of is I'm like, okay, I'm a wrestling guy, I'm a wrestler, and most of the listeners know this, obviously you know that. Yep. I was expecting to hear, welcome to the Dolphins Talk Podcast. Yeah, my name is Randy Savage, and I'm with Tom Ernisse. Yeah, here we're talking Dolphins. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, you know. I was expecting to hear that, and I didn't hear that, so I gotta say I'm a little disappointed.
You know, it's like you're bringing Randy Savage back from the grave, my friend. That is a hell of an impersonation. You know what? I need to somehow, some way record you doing that so we can actually open up with you on our podcast, just saying this is Randy Savage. Yeah.
Oh, I'm all for that. You tell me when, and I'll do it for you.
I appreciate
it. All right, so let's talk about DolphinsTalk.com. How did you first get involved with that particular project?
Well, you know, I was on Twitter one day, and I saw a retweet from a fellow Dolphins fan from DolphinsTalk.com, and I started following Mike, who runs the website, and ended up just shooting him a message after he said, hey, I'm looking for writers for the website. I said, all right, cool. I'm a big fan. I'll write about them. It's, you know, I talk about them enough, as you know. I might as well just start writing about it too. And got with Mike and ended up writing for a year. And then we came across the idea of a podcast. I actually did one for the Best in the World Sports podcast out of Philadelphia prior to the Dolphins game. I've never did a podcast until that point. After Mike heard it, we decided to jump on the podcast train and start it up just before the NFL draft.
All right, and it's been successful, yes.
Successful so far. We're getting a lot of clicks, a lot of listens. We appreciate everyone out there listening to our podcast. Obviously, you know, if you haven't heard John's podcast, it is phenomenal, very good production.
I appreciate that.
Listen to it weekly, so you guys should get on there and listen to it as well. We're actually,
you know, I got to say my wife is a Dolphins fan, so I have to kind of be in tune with what's going on with Miami. And that's where your podcast comes in for me, honestly. So I don't. Well, not that Dawn knows a whole lot about stats and all that stuff, but so I don't sound like an idiot and like I'm just being like, oh, okay, babe, yeah, go Dolphins, you know.
And being a Jets fan, that's hard for you to say.
Not this year. But speaking of the Jets, let's go right into Sunday here real quick. The Miami Dolphins visit the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. Miami has something to play for. However, Ryan Tannehill will not be playing probably for the. Well, it's not probably, is it? Is it official now for the rest of the season? He's done, even the playoffs.
I haven't seen anything official yet. Miami's taking it week by week with him. He's definitely missing the next two. If for any reason, if the Dolphins lose either of the next two games, then I can see them just shutting him down. Right now, they're in the thick of the playoff race, tied with the Broncos for that 6th seed game, tied with actually a game ahead of the Baltimore Ravens right now, who absolutely annihilated the Dolphins 2 weeks ago. So it's going to be wait and see. I don't think personally Ryan Tannehill is going to play for the remainder of the season, regardless if they are in that position week 17. There's no reason to rush back, a guy that's going to be making almost $20 million next year. it's hard to tell, but they're not going to shut him down just yet. This sprain MCL ACL is a 2 to 8 week injury, so I guess we'll find out week 3 how the team feels if he can get on the field and beat Tom Brady at home again for the 4th consecutive time.
Now let me ask this: with this week coming up here, it's not just Miami playing New York, but as you mentioned, the Dolphins are tied with the Broncos for that 6th seed. The Broncos are playing the Patriots, so is it going to give you or Dolphins Nation any agita to have to kind of root for the guy that you hate the most and the New England Patriots to, hopefully, realistically, the Dolphins should beat the Jets this Saturday. If the Patriots beat the Broncos, there it is.
Yeah, I will never ever root for that team, but if they end up winning, I'll be okay with it, especially this week.
Fair enough.
The Broncos are I think they're in trouble, John. I think with their schedule gone down the stretch, the Patriots, yes, it's at home, but Trevor Siemian's not going to win a track meet against Tom Brady. It's not going to happen. Then they have
not at all.
Then they have to play the Chiefs and the Raiders to finish out the season. So the Broncos are in for a hell of a fight. I just don't think Siemian's going to get the job done.
The AFC West is definitely the toughest division in the NFL, and as you said, their last 3 games is borderline suicide. You got the Patriots, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Those are 3 top tier teams to close out your season. So the Broncos definitely are in trouble, and the Dolphins just need to hold on. Is what they need to do. So let's talk about the epic battle between Matt Moore and Bryce Petty. Now, Bryce Petty's going to be making his 3rd career start. He's 1-1 on the season. He's 20 of 34, 210 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and you've got Matt Moore. Maybe this might. I think these might be projections now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe, I don't know. My stats are failing me, but basically, Matt Moore is going to be the quarterback. Tell us what mindset are these Dolphins going to have to be in? Because I don't think Matt Moore is going to be slinging the ball around, but he doesn't really need to, considering the suspect Jet secondary.
Well, for me, and I'm probably speaking on behalf of a lot of Dolphins fans, we're on edge. Matt Moore hasn't started a football game in a very long time. January 2012 actually was his last start. It was the last game of the season in that dreadful 2011 year when they finished 6-10. But he went 6-6 as the starter when he came in, and that was the suck for luck year. And I was really pulling for it, but Matt Moore kind of screwed it up. But, Matt Moore is labeled a gunslinger. He scares me. And I think this game for the Dolphins, they can't put the game in his hands. It has to be Jay Ajayi run his football consistently throughout the game. And if they get away from the run and they really have to throw the football, as of right now, I'm not completely confident Matt Moore is going to get the job done. But as you said, the Jets are reeling in a lot of injuries. I read earlier today that the injury list is piling up in that defense.
Yes, the injury list definitely piling up on the defense. I think the biggest thing that, because speaking as a Jets fan, our season's done. We know it. We're not here to play spoiler, at least as far as I'm concerned. I'm more there to watch Bryce Petty and see how he grows and develops. The Dolphins' defense is not a bad defense as well. Kiko Alonso and what's his face, Ndamukong Suh on the line there. Mario Williams. You guys have got a decent squad. So I think that, like I said, the Dolphins should win this. Game. They're definitely in prime position to win. If they win this game, and again the Broncos lose, how do you see the rest of the season playing out for the Dolphins? Do you think they get that last spot?
It's right now they have to go into Buffalo after New York. If they can beat the Jets, and being from Western New York, they suck in Buffalo. They are absolutely awful in Buffalo. They rarely win. I've gone over 20 times. I think I've seen them win 4 or 5 times. It's a very tough place to play. Who knows where Buffalo's going to be next week? If they don't screw it up against the Browns, I can see Tyrod Taylor still starting. It's going to be tough, but they got to get the next 2. If they can get to 10 wins before that Patriots game, I think they have a real good shot. I think Baltimore is going to lose to Pittsburgh on Christmas Day in Pittsburgh. That would pretty much lock up the division for the Steelers. And it provides the Dolphins that opportunity if the Broncos continue to struggle, if they have to win in Buffalo to really secure that final spot before the final game of the year. They have a chance, but it really relies on Adam Gase being that quarterback whisperer and getting Matt Moore to perform at a high level for these next 3 games.
Nice touch with the little whisper there. All right, real quick. As a football fan, Jeff Fisher, he gone. What are your thoughts on that? Long overdue, or should they have given him to the end of the season?
They should have fired him 6 weeks ago. Actually, they should have fired him when he went on HBO and Hard Knocks and stood in front of his team and says, "I'm not effing going 7-9, 8-8, or 9-7." Well, Jeff.
Well, technically, he didn't go 7-9. He went 4-9 before he got canned. So, I guess there's that.
But there's going to be an idiotic owner somewhere that says, let's hire Jeff Fisher. Look at Jacksonville. I mean, I can see that being a landing spot for him.
I never even thought to consider Jacksonville as being desperate enough to hire Jeff Fisher.
Why not? He's a very good 5-11 coach. That's where they've been middling around with that. Honestly, I think Jacksonville is a talented football team.
They are.
But he's not going to bring him to prominence. It's
everything I'm reading almost suggests that Tom Coughlin might be one of the ones that they're considering there in Jacksonville, a Coughlin reunion. I mean, and why not? He was the most successful coach they had there.
Brunell as the quarterback coach, possibly.
Bring Brunell back, yeah. Very good. All right. So we got some Dolphins Jets talk out of the way. We got some Jeff Fisher talk out of the way. Let's real quick before we plug your podcast. What'd you shoot today?
6:59.
What about last Sunday?
Not as good. 6:26.
Oh yeah. Well, I was almost there with you. I had 6:02.
Nice.
All right. Give your podcast some love. Where can everybody hear you?
You guys can hear us on SoundCloud, iTunes. You can hear us on our website, dolphinstalk.com. We record traditionally on Sunday night. It drops on Monday. Be prepared for Randy not doing a great Randy Savage impersonation as John does, but
Randy, if you're listening, sorry, buddy, for putting you on the spot there, but I'll hook it up. I'll hook it up with a Randy Savage introduction for you. Yeah, Can I give some Dolphins? Let me get some. You know what I'm going to do? I think just in honor of your tag team partner who's not with us here right now, let me give some Dolphins stats from last week. Hold on, I'm gonna find the score here. Where? All right,
this
Cardinals.
would be priceless.
Okay, let's go to the recap here. All right, I'm clicking on it right now. Ready? We're gonna go over Tannehill stats. The Miami Dolphins, they won. They beat the Arizona Cardinals 26-23. So Sun Life Stadium. That's where, hey, what's going on here? There's videos talking to me. I don't like when the video talks. Video scoops talking to me like that. I get a little irritated. Cup of coffee. Okay. Well, Ryan Tannehill, 15 of 20, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. If you had him on your fantasy team, he got you hooked up with, How many is that? What number was Michael Jordan? 23 points. That's what the Cardinals scored, but it wasn't enough, to beat the Dolphins. They won, 26-23. Dig it.
That is phenomenal. That is absolutely great. You know what? Randy,
100% on the fly there.
Randy, on my podcast, you're going to have to take a week off. I'm bringing John in to do Randy Macho Man Savage for the entire podcast.
Yes, I'll do it. All right, Tommy, man, I appreciate you joining me on short notice and talking some football with you. Let's do this again sometime, shall we?
Absolutely. I appreciate it, John. Thanks for having me on, and hope you have a great Saturday, hopefully in a loss.
I wouldn't doubt that, but all right. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks, brother.
That was Tommy the Body Ernisse from DolphinsTalk.com joining us here on Football Talk Weekly this week, talking some Dolphins Jets. Always good to chat with my friend Yes, we met at bowling, and we've bowled for several years together. He's really good. He's a really good bowler. I'm not. I try to be. I pretend to be, but I'm not. But in any event, it was great for him to join us. Again, DolphinsTalk.com. It's where he writes. It's where his podcasts are on. And give him a listen. And tell him that the Football Talk Weekly Podcast sent you. We'll be right back, Brandon and I, with Gear Network Pick'ems in a moment.
You know, I'm often asked about the logos of the show and Gear Network and everything. It comes to me, JC, where do you get the designs, the cool designs for the show and everything? And I want to tell you, I'm going to tell everybody right now, right here, you heard it here, it is IndyCard Media. IndyCard Media is a local business that specializes in making quality designs for your website or your business. Whatever you do, they can do it. If you need proof, you can look at all of our logos, or you can go to facebook.com/IndyCardMedia to see all of the designs, which include a political banner, because they've done political banners and everything. Nothing is off limits with them. Give Eric a shout at IndyCardMafia@gmail.com, and he will help you bring your design to life. Tell him Gear Network sent you, and hey, he may hook you up with a little something, or at least a smile, because you heard it here. But go to IndyCard Media Facebook. Again, facebook.com/IndyCard Media. Do it now. Bring your designs to life. Hey everyone, John Cimino here for the Gear Radio Network, and you have asked and asked repeatedly, what is up with the app? We know you have one, and you never push it. You never do anything with it. Well, guess what? We got a better one, and it is free. It is absolutely available for you, and there's so much more you can do with it. Visit GearNetwork.com and click Get the App. It's up on the top banner, or if you're feeling really brave, head to gearnetwork.mobapp.at on your mobile phone and your mobile phone's browser, and you can take Gear Network with you wherever you go. Listen to every show on the Gear Network right from the app. You can view all of our social networks in real time. You can read Gear Network and BLTDsports.com blogs in real time, and you can also shop Amazon and help us out and help you out. It is free. Did I mention that? Again, gearnetwork.com or gearnetwork.mobapp.at. Download it right now. Switched it up on you. See, normally it's normally two halves here, where you say we're going into halftime, and then we come back for the second half of the Football Talk Weekly Podcast. But God damn it, Brandon,
third period.
We are in the third. Okay, I was going to say overtime, keeping it football related, but sure, third period. That's fine.
I'm watching hockey.
You're watching hockey. All right, welcome to the third period of the Football Talk Weekly Podcast. Once again, thanks to Tom Ernisse from DolphinsTalk.com. If you have not heard him, if you're a Dolphins fan and you're listening, because I know there's a few of you on there, go and search on iTunes or SoundCloud or DolphinsTalk.com, the website, and give him and Randy Savage, yeah, a listen. That's what his co-host name is. Legit Randy Savage.
I heard that from the other room.
Yes, I'm sorry. I get loud when it's like when I do.
It's not the loudness. It was just the Macho Man voice, and it triggered. I was like, what?
Yeah. Once it gets going, man, you just kind of got to let it go, man. Let it ride.
All right.
Gear Network Pick'em this week. Brandon, you picked up a game, so go ahead and say it.
I'm a champion every week.
I was 11-5. Brandon was 12-4. Takes the season total to 129-79 for me.
Hurts,
and
don't it?
125-83 for Brandon. He picks up 3 games in 2 weeks to climb back within reach.
At least we're not where LaFell is. This is like near Darien Lake.
Oh, man.
Corfu.
Jesus.
I get hammered with snow.
Getting killed. I didn't even
we got a little bit, but nothing like that.
It's not bad. I got to make a trip to Wegmans on the way home anyways. But, all right. Brandon, we disagree on 2 games this week. Yep. Saints, Cardinals, Colts, Vikings. I don't remember offhand. I think I had the Saints and the Colts. Does that sound about right?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's talk Colts Vikings. Why do you think the Vikings are going to beat the Colts?
The Vikings are at home, and their defense is, serviceable, and Bradford will get it done. Colts are sliding. Colts looked really bad last week versus the Texans. I don't see them doing much better this week against a better defensive team in Minnesota.
See, I'm not a huge fan of Minnesota at all, so it's really hard
either.
well, obviously I know you are, but it's just there's something about Minnesota that I just genuinely do not like. And
it's the purple.
I think for that reason and that reason alone, because the Colts are pretty terrible themselves, and as we talked about earlier in the podcast, Chuck Pagano being on the hot seat and whatever, I think just for that reason and that reason alone is why I picked against the Vikings. I don't particularly care for them.
That's cool, man.
Saints Cardinals. Cardinals minus Michael Floyd now. Not that he was, I think, a gigantic impact player for that team. He certainly helped. But with all of that going on, why do you pick the Cardinals over the Saints?
The Saints have not looked very good the last few weeks. And they're on the road again. Cardinals are going to have some kind of bounce back week. So that's the only reason I picked them. They're at home. Saints just don't impress me on the road.
Drew Brees, man. Drew Brees is Drew Brees. I'm going to take your excuse from a couple weeks ago when you picked the Saints. Drew Brees is Drew Brees.
All right.
Drew Brees. All right, let's go to the playoff pictures. Tommy and I kind of talked about this in some depth, but let's get into it right now. Brandon, if the playoffs started today, the AFC first round buys would go to the number 1 seed New England Patriots and the number 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
The AFC wildcard would see the 6th seed Broncos take on the 3rd seed Steelers, and the 5th seed Raiders take on the 4th seed Texans. You talk about reversal of fortunes there for the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Yeah, but poor Texans.
Now here's one that interests me here, because you talked about Green Bay.
Yeah.
Winning out. They can very much win out. Right now, the 2nd seed in the NFC is the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
They would get that first round bye. Green Bay wins out. Would they be in that spot? You
possibly.
Think? I don't know. They don't have
possibly.
They don't have it mapped out there, but
It's possible.
The first
probably
seed,
not though, because they'd be 10-6, and they would require the
Lions
Dirty Birds to
twice.
lose.
Yeah, okay.
A couple as well.
That makes sense. All right,
Lions
so
are only at 4 losses right now.
the first seed is the Dallas Cowboys at 11-2. The 2nd seed, the Detroit Lions. Then the NFC wildcard games would be the 6th seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the 3rd seed Seattle Seahawks, 8-4-1.
That would be an interesting game.
That would be. And then the 5th seed New York Giants at the 4th seed Atlanta Dirty Birds. Now, you may ask, who is still alive in the playoffs? Well, I'm going to tell you. In the playoff picture, right now the 7th seed would be the Miami Dolphins, 8th would be Baltimore, 9th would be Tennessee, 10th would be Indianapolis, which is really weird to me. 11th is Buffalo, and then here's really grasping at straws, CBS. Number 12 and 13, Cincinnati and San Diego are still alive. Eliminated from contention are the New York Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and surprise, surprise, the Cleveland Browns. Oh,
wow.
and 13. Buffalo, don't mess this one up, I swear to God. Don't mess this one up. In the NFC, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 of the still alive columns. Washington, Minnesota, Green Bay, Arizona, New Orleans, Carolina, Philadelphia. Eliminated from contention, the Los Angeles Rams, the Chicago Bears, and the San Francisco
Maybe that's why they let Fisher
49ers.
Go. They're officially out.
They're officially out, that's true. Now, tiebreaker situations. They did this for me. This is amazing.
Yeah, they usually do.
AFC tiebreakers. Kansas City is ahead of Oakland in the AFC West based on head-to-head.
Right.
They're 2-0. Houston is ahead of Tennessee in the AFC South based on head-to-head.
Right.
Denver is ahead of Miami based on strength of victory. 4-17 to the Dolphins, 3-22. Now, Baltimore is ahead of Tennessee based on the conference record, 7-3 for Baltimore to the Titans, 4-5. And Indianapolis is ahead of Buffalo based on the conference record.
Yeah.
Indianapolis 4-6 to the Bills, 3-6. For NFC, Atlanta, Dirty Birds, don't let me down, is ahead of Tampa Bay in the NFC South based on common game records, 6-3 to 5-4. Minnesota, unfortunately, is ahead of Green Bay in the NFC North based on head-to-head for now. New Orleans is ahead of Carolina in the NFC South based on common games. They're also ahead of the Philadelphia Eagles based on conference record. And Carolina, I'm mentioning Carolina in here, they are ahead of Philadelphia based on the conference record, 4-5 to 3-7. So that's the playoff picture. That's the tiebreaker scenario. And that's all I have as far as football notes and things of the sort. So, Brandon, turn it over to the... probably at this point the small conversation point, because my throat is just that.
That's all right. My nose is like It's ready to Niagara Falls. I don't want it to Niagara Falls all over this
that
microphone screen.
Goddamn Randy Savage voice did not help my case right now.
I was wondering what the hell you were doing. I was like, isn't he got a sore throat? Isn't it going to make it worse?
Yeah, probably. So
glutton for punishment.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm a wrestler. It's what I do. What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Hopefully sleeping a lot. Kind of work this thing off. Last full weekend before Christmas, I got bowling Saturday night, and then gonna watch some UFC Saturday night. Paige Van Zandt's fighting. It's pretty hot. UFC
Saturday night is a fight night.
17th. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The fight night 17th. Paige Van Zandt's I think the main event.
Okay.
She's fighting. Yeah, that's really it.
Is that FS1 or
FS1? I think.
All right, so I'll be flipping back and forth between
FS1.
that and the Jets Dolphins game for whatever reason. But
wait, that's on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
NFL Network.
We're down to that time of year where football's on every freaking day of the week.
If I thought about it, I would have remixed the James Brown Christmas is for Everyone with football related thing. Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Football is for every night or whatever.
It is on FS1.
Okay,
just so you know.
Okay.
It's going to be Fox main card. Actually, it's going to be on Fox.
Oh, it's on Fox.
FS1's getting the prelims at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
8 p.m. Is going to be the Fox main card.
Perfect.
And actually, there's a couple good fights. The main fights, you got Alan Juban versus Mike Perry. Who cares? But then you got Uriah Faber.
Oh.
And Brad Pickett.
Okay.
And then the co-main event is going to be Sage Northcutt, who is wicked nasty with those kicks, and then Mickey Gall.
Oh,
who
famously beat up CM
Punk badly. And then the main one is going to be Paige Van Zandt versus Michelle Watterson.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see the Mickey Gall one. I want to see him against a fighter of his caliber.
Sage is tough.
All right,
he's got some super kicks.
Yeah, well, that's it's going to pique my interest. All right, cool. All right, well, that's gonna
UFC talk.
That's right, UFC talk weekly. we got sports for everyone. All right, I want to go ahead and say thank you, everybody.
Music this week,
huh?
We didn't have any music.
No, we did not. I just realized that.
Ball dropped.
Oh well,
2 weeks early.
I will piece in some generic.
Yeah, do it.
Gimmick or whatever there. Whatever. But anyways, thanks for everybody for tuning in this week, the 15th week of the Football Talk Weekly Podcast Season 2.
Sorry for the sniffles.
The sniffles and the voice and with the Randy Savage. I can't even do it now. Now my throat's really hurting. So
Penguins winning overtime.
Penguins winning overtime?
Yeah.
There you go. Penguins
Ryan
fans.
Russ with a goal from Evgeny Malkin and Justin Schultz.
All right.
7 in a row, baby.
Very good.
Hockey talk.
Thanks again to Tom from DolphinsTalk.com for joining us this week. Thanks to all of you for going down to ShopGear.com and doing your holiday shopping with us. And, of course, the likes, listens, downloads, shares, and all of that. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Right, Brandon?
Yes, sir. We are our last one of the year.
Yeah.
28th.
28th?
That'll be next week.
No, next week's the 21st, dude. We're on the 14th.
Edit that out.
You need to go ahead and take that NyQuil.
Oh, I need
good
it.
Good day to you, sir.
Good night to you, sir.
So long, everybody. Good night now.
Remember to see more National Football League action next week.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.